Have you ever been told you're too sensitive or that you think too much about things other people brush off? Maybe you're the one who notices the shift in someone's tone before anyone else does, the one who replays conversations at night, not to criticize but to understand, the one who pauses before reacting. And sometimes that makes you feel different, a little out of sync with louder rooms. But what if that isn't weakness? What if that's emotional intelligence quietly at work? Emotionally intelligent people often look calm on the outside, not because they don't feel deeply, but because they've learned how to hold their feelings without spilling them everywhere. Psychologist Daniel Goleman popularized the idea that emotional intelligence is just as important as IQ. And attachment theory, first shaped by John Bowlby, reminds us that the way we handle emotions is deeply tied to how safe we learn to feel. When you're emotionally intelligent, your nervous system becomes less of a fire alarm and more of a dimmer switch. You don't shut emotions down, you regulate them. That's the first trait. You pause, not to manipulate, but to understand what's happening inside you before you respond. Second, you can sit with discomfort. You don't rush to fix every awkward silence. You let conversations breathe. Third, you're deeply self-aware. You can name what you're feeling. Not just bad, but disappointed, overstimulated, unseen. Fourth, you separate feelings from facts. You know that feeling rejected doesn't automatically mean you were rejected. Fifth, you listen to understand, not to reload. You're not waiting for your turn. You're curious. Sixth, you protect your energy like it's a battery, not an endless power source. You know rest isn't laziness, it's maintenance. Seventh, you apologize without collapsing. You can admit when you're wrong without turning it into self-punishment. Eighth, you don't take everything personally. You understand projection. You know sometimes people hand you their own unresolved storms. Ninth, you notice patterns in yourself, in others, in relationships that feel like cages instead of refuges. 10th, you value boundaries, not walls, but doors with locks you control. 11th, you stay curious about growth. You ask, what is this teaching me, instead of why is this happening to me? And 12th, you care, deeply, about fairness, connection, repair. Here's the deeper layer most people don't see. Emotional intelligence isn't about being nice, it's about safety. When your nervous system feels safe enough, you don't need to dominate, withdraw, or explode. You can respond instead of react. You can choose. The contrary in truth. High emotional intelligence often looks quiet. It's not flashy. It doesn't win arguments on social media. But research consistently shows it predicts relationship satisfaction and long-term leadership effectiveness more than raw cognitive ability. Now, there is an unhealthy version. Over-regulating, overthinking, becoming the emotional caretaker for everyone else while abandoning yourself. That's not emotional intelligence. That's survival in disguise. Real emotional intelligence includes you in the circle of care. If you saw yourself in these traits, you're not too much. You're tuned in. In a noisy world, you chose depth. In reactive spaces, you practice reflection. That's not weakness. That's strength with self-awareness. So here's something to sit with tonight. Which of these traits feels most natural to you? And which one are you still learning to embody? In the next video, we'll explore a deeper psychological truth most people never hear, how your emotional intelligence can sometimes intimidate others, and what that really says about them.